I would like to say, shout out. It is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles, Wednesday, the 28th of January, AD 2026. It's 9:01 now. Here, Pacific Standard Time. And it's the 28th of January, AD 2026, if I didn't say that already, Wednesday. And you can call in. You are welcome to. I get thrown off because our lines are a little iffy. And that may be the reason why I didn't get to Michael and Canada as quickly yesterday. But I did need to get to my super chats, and I did really appreciate those other callers who got in and all y'all. My apologies, Michael and Canada. But you are welcome to call in. You are welcome to super chat. I would like to say thank you to American Anchor Baby and to Derek, the black producer of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, for an excellent JLP show today. I'm here now talking about the Hake report stuff here. Look at this beautiful hill, cliff, dirt scenery in San Onofre State Beach, California. And crazy things going on in this here old world. I do notice, you guys, oh, by the way, take everything that you hear here with a grain of salt. And honestly, like everywhere, with a grain of salt, because you don't know, I don't know. Info may be false. No endorsement implied by any, I have callers to whom I might say yeah or right, but it doesn't necessarily mean I mean yeah or right. So just, don't be so easily influenced or influenced by your own thoughts. So heads up on that. American Anchor Baby is scheduled, y'all, on Rumble and on YouTube, so make sure you have notifications turned on for that. Looks like I'm live on Pilled, on punchy.tv/Hake, on Facebook, on X, on YouTube, of course. Hello to Chris, Bobby Blanco, Walking Roscoe, Him Ditty, Cloud Bops, Lion, Icy, Pete, and everyone else. Why am I not hearing enough volume here? Let me just crank this. Oh, no. Hold on. Now I hear it. Wow, hey. Shenanigans. Anchor Baby knows his stuff. I never would have guessed. So, right, all right? Except for Old Saucy, his comments are endorsed by the show, though. And when I tell you guys not to harass people whose social media I visit here on the stream, the only exception to that is the person who may not even really watch the show anymore. I don't know. I haven't really seen him. Brandon M. over there on like the D-Live crew. He gets to harass because it's righteous harassment. What's up, Lalo, over there on the X live stream, live on X, formerly known as Twitter, still known by some as Twitter. So, crazy stuff going on in the world. So, y'all, let's get on with another AJ Gallardo original theme song because I like it so much. So it's not Friday. Yesterday I played it. Let's do it again today. Nice. It's time for the show.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys! Thank you for joining the Hake Report. We have a whole immigration mess going on in this here world, and the enemies of America are against the enforcement of sensible righteousness.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how y'all doing? Look at that beautiful cliff. I'm fine. Listen to Hake breathing all hard. You working hard, Hake? Terrible. I won't tell you where I got my shirt. It's a snake shirt. It is not a Gadsden flag, don't tread on me shirt. Not that I'm against the Gadsden flag. It is sort of a victimhood shirt, the Gadsden flag. Don't tread on me. But shout out, you know. We had a great Jesse Lee Peterson show prior to my show with Bill Lockwood, and he talks about how we had things a little more sensible, and it is not as sensible anymore. It is ever increasing senselessness here in so-called America. And there are people who define the senselessness as American. And that is ridiculous. Senselessness is un-American. Well, it's against the best interests of America. You know how God gave all these different rules for people to follow in the Bible, in your common sense, and you reject that, your life goes down the tubes. It's for your own good. Embracing the senselessness as American. It's un-American. I wanted to mention the if you visit the Hake Report, you can see I have super chats coming in. Yeah, I see already one came in. Let me read this while I'm here. Walking Roscoe, have a great show, Jim. Love to the snake pit. That's what I refer to the live chat as, the snake pit. And it's Blessed Mayor Cloud Bops is the mayor of the snake pit. Shout out. Actually, since he's Canadian, wow, doxed. That would be a shout-ooot. Shout-oot. A boat. I had a Canadian American pastor, actually, and he would say a boat, an oat. Oat in the boat. Shout out. I like hearing Canadians talk. They're so Canadian. Canadians, Australians, cuss up a storm. Shout oat. Oot. Nice. All right. Anyway, back to the super chats over here, and then I will get to your calls. Not the super chats, but by the way, Punchy TV is going to happen today. The DSM. I wanted to talk briefly about this. Let me just search DSM overhaul. Whatever, I don't know. Overhaul. The American Psychiatric Association, enemies of common sense, largely, is planning a major overhaul of the DSM, Diagnostic and Statistical, something like that, Manual on Issues. Here, if I go over here and click on the commie nonsense, Psychiatry's Bible. See, they don't believe in God. I don't know. This might be this might want to make me subscribe or something. Radical changes could be coming to the Psychiatry's Bible. It's an article out 9 p.m. last night, I guess, by Jen Christensen, 9 Pacific. And how a person will be diagnosed with mental illness could look significantly different in the near future. The way clinicians, this is commie nonsense, 5 things in the morning, per Alexandra Banner, could soon change dramatically how clinicians diagnose so-called mental illnesses. And I've never quite fully believed in mental illnesses because it's so obviously connected to how you live. And, you know, in many cases, in most cases, people live wrong, eat wrong, sleep wrong, exercise wrong, don't even follow God in them right. They follow the devil, the false god of this world, and they become crazy and evil. But they call it mental illness to separate you even further from God. And the DSM has only gotten worse, okay? So if you... Oh, Lord. I disclaim Miami. American Psychiatric Association announced Wednesday this morning. Okay, midnight. They're radically reconceptualizing the main manual clinicians use to make a mental health diagnosis, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM for short. Will likely get a new name, new voices shaping its content, and a new approach that will add more layers to a diagnosis. And I bet you that some of it might be a little sensible, but overall, I'm going to guess that it's going to be more senseless because the going way of the experts nowadays is senselessness. A mental health disorder impacts an individual's thoughts and behavior, and the individual's thoughts and behavior impact their so-called mental health, their brain, you know. Can cause ongoing distress or impair their ability to function. Why someone has a particular so-called mental health disorder can vary stemming from a complicated mix of brain chemistry. Why do they list that first? Genetics. Why do they list these things first? And then they say life experience. Life experience should be like the first thing, and the person's environment, which is also like the other thing. And then also their dumb, evil, lame-o, victimhood, woman-oriented attitude. That's the other main thing. Unlike with an infection where doctors can use objective blood tests to pinpoint the bacteria or virus causing the problem, there are very few, precious few, they say few, simple tests to determine what kind of so-called mental health disorder someone has. So they created that manual, commonly known as the DSM, and blah, 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 blah. Putting a label on a mental health disorder is essential so that they know how to treat a patient, supposedly. And psychiatric disorder, they call it. And then they give you drugs. Psychiatrists prescribe meds. And there are some sensible psychiatrists out there, I have to believe, right? There's got to be somebody sensible out there who got into a senseless field, largely. And, you know, the people whom I know who studied psychology are some of the most angry, openly angry, or messed up in the head. Exceptions to the rule. I mean, not most, but in many cases, yeah, people with issues were interested in psychology. The people that I knew, whom I knew and know, with significant issues. Would be it anger, the LGBT thing. Anyway. So they did it sort of selfishly, and yes, it's selfish. Insurance, lawyers, huge, big business involved in this whole racket. And I'm largely calling it a racket, but, you know, DSM-5-TR, 300 distinct mental disorders such as schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder, alcohol use disorder. They're reaching for everything to get their tentacles and fingers in it so they can feel important and maybe supposedly help. Mess. APA, American Psychiatric Association, right? Something like that. So they update their manual regularly, if I can speak, to reflect the most up-to-date science. Last update was 2022. Over the years, the DSM has come under heavy criticism. Some argue it's not scientific enough. Others argue it's not specific enough or even practical. And hey, look, there's a La 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 t-shirt. What? $22? Oh, from Spring. Oh, and look, the Hake report. Wow, look at this ad. They know me. For once, I endorse an ad, but I don't know what this thing is, this backpack or that pentagram devil sign looking thing. Doesn't it look like a pentagram devil sign? Upside down, 5-pointed star / goat head. Evil. Side note. Mess. One of the things they may change is the name. What name? I don't know. Diagnostic Scientific Manual of Mental Disorders. Oh. So they're going to change. It's going to still be DSM, but instead it's going to be, instead of diagnostic and statistical, it's going to be diagnostic scientific. It should be DPM, Diagnostic Political Manual of so-called mental disorders. Because remember, up until like the 70s, they considered being homosexual a mental disorder, and then they changed it. They literally changed it. And I wonder if the transgender thing will still be considered a disorder, or if they'll change that to be not a disorder, or if it is a disorder and the treatment is, oh, don't commit suicide, get this treatment that maybe makes suicide still likely, but less likely, supposedly. And I don't think that that's true. What a mess, huh? Oh, it saves their life. Ridiculous. Hundreds of so-called experts from around the world the APA pulls together to make that thing. And I remember reading about communism, and communism used replacing the religion and religious leaders and the preacher and fathers, of course, probably, and men with experts. And, knowing for yourself with experts and atheist science and stuff like that. And it's a mixed bag doing that. It's a mixed bag because you're changing from leaning on men who pretend to be about God to leaning on men, or women, even worse, shout out, who are, look, they literally call it a Bible. To leaning on men who are even more separated from God, oftentimes. Exceptions to the rule. There are Christian-friendly atheists and Christian and, common sense-friendly people who don't proclaim God or whatever. So it is darkness. Just a little update on that. Pardon me for that mess. Is CNN still showing that thing about that gal? No. Yes? No. Okay. They had this GIF or this looping video thing that showed Ilhan Omar getting squirted by not a squirt gun, but a syringe. Not necessarily a needle in that syringe, but that tube with the plunger thing. The plunger pushes the fluid out, or air bubbles, scary, upon a person, and he squirted her. Don't say that word, kids. So, president wanting to de-escalate tensions, and people are all hyped up over Trump wanting to de-escalate tensions and work with these people. And they're saying, oh, he's a soft-hearted boomer, sucker for sob stories and shootings that look questionable to the casual observer. And, because ICE had to do some shootings, and casual observers who don't know much or don't pay much close attention can fall for the notion that these were unjustified when they seem to have been justified. And or, honest mistakes. And the fault primarily of the instigators, the so-called protesters or anti-American people who were out on the street disrupting ICE. So I don't necessarily believe that. Hold your horses. Wait and see, you know? Wait and see what may be with regard to Trump and the pulling back and pushing forward and whatever. I will get to your coffees and super chats, y'all. I appreciate that. Thanks again to Walking Roscoe. I want to get to some calls here. But again, relax. You know? DSM mess. And Trump, immigration, Minnesota. Interesting stuff. I want to get to Greggatron out of the Midwest. Let me mosey on over here and get to him. Greggatron, thank you. Oh, hold on. Complicated business, folks. Let me put him on right. Oh, yeah, there you are, Greggatron. Yeah, hey.
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's good with you?
I'm on the phone with you. That's good, I think.
There you go. Good stuff. That is good. All right, check this out. So me and you, we're cool, right? We're friends, right?
Yes.
Okay. With that said, if I were to just show up at your job unannounced, uninvited, without calling, without texting, super chat, nothing, and I have a gun on my hip, and I'm acting crazy at someone else's job, and I'm just unannounced. I walk past security. I walk past the front desk. I just go to the elevator. No one knows who I am, and I just go into the studio. What do you think is going to happen to me?
I think that you may get tackled, and if they see your gun, that could cause a little heightened concern, and it may be a sketchy situation.
Exactly. And if you were to do that at my job or any of your other friends' job, or if I were to do it at someone else's job, that's exactly what would happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page with that. So why do people then think they can do that at ICE's job? Because that's what the ICE agents are doing. They're at their job. They're doing their job. And then these sketchy people want to not only interfere, but they want to be armed and act erratic and crazy. And then when something bad happens to them, they get surprised when something happens. I don't get that. What do you think about that?
It's kind of that senselessness that I was talking about, where people aren't really thinking logically. You know how I really like how JLP breaks things down. If that guy hadn't been out there, this Alex Pretti, you're alluding to him, who got himself killed.
Yep.
If he weren't out there, which he had no business being out there, he didn't really have a right to be interfering or playing mama on that woman who got pepper sprayed. I don't even know the backstory about what happened to her or who she is or what happened with that. He could be alive today, and he brought that on himself. And in the confusion, he got shot. In the confusion with that whole situation. And I know that they pepper sprayed him, they kicked him or whatever. Somebody may have pistol whipped him. That's rough. I don't envy him.
Yeah.
But when you get, they don't know what level of threat you are, and when you're acting crazy, and then somebody yells gun, these things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they tell you to leave, and if you still don't continue to leave, at that point you're trespassing. But no one thinks about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I used to work at a parts store. I'm not going to say the name of it. I don't want to dox myself. But we used to get these customers who would always try to get discounts off of us. These were like low-paying customers who would just buy little ticky-tack stuff. Now, we would give discounts to people who were like commercial customers who spent a lot of money, those guys.
Yeah.
But then you would get the lower customers who were just cheapskates, and they wanted a discount on like a steering wheel cover or something like that.
Right.
Well, then my boss was like, hey man, can I come up to your job and get some discounts at your job? He's like, hey man, where do you work? Where do you work? I'm gonna get a discount at Burger King or whatever, or
If they work at
Popeyes,
all.
whatever the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just, you can't just go to people's job and act a fool, especially at their job. Like, this is how people put food on their table, but these protesters, they don't look at the ICE agents as people who are at work.
Yeah.
They just see them as the enemy because they're with Trump, basically. So they don't see any humanity in the officers whatsoever. Like, they don't care that they have families, they have tables to put food on. They don't care about any of that. They just see them as the opposition. And people like us who support them, that makes us the opposition just because we're not nut jobs.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Totally.
What do you think about that?
That's true. They dehumanize people by calling them Nazis. They call ICE the Nazis. They call Trump a Nazi. That is hatred. That's hate. And they think that they're fighting hate, but they're not looking at their own hate. They're missing it. They have no understanding. When you're angry, people are stupid. No matter how educated or smart, in your angry moments, and then the underlying anger that informs what you're about in life, about selfishness and self, there's no wisdom to that. It's senselessness.
No wisdom. Can I change the topic real quick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was John from Kentucky was talking about how it was a taboo for a black man to get with a white woman because she could cry rape if the dad found out. Okay, so I know what he's talking about with that. So I think the interracial dating thing really blew up after hip-hop music became a thing, because after the 80s and the 90s, really, hip-hop became a real big phenomenon, and it became cool to be black all of a sudden. So all of a sudden you get white kids who are like idolizing Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, all those guys. Well, the women, they like fell in love with it. The millennial women, I'll say, they really clung to it because they thought the stuff was cool. So then, remember how John said the white people are like plain Janes and the black people are like cool?
Yeah. No,
so I
no
think
style.
Yeah, like you guys have no style and we do, basically. But
right.
He's right about that in the sense that hip-hop culture made the stuff cool. And you remember how stuff was in the 90s, like with MTV and BT and all that crap.
Even the Asians and black and Hispanics loved and played hip hop, and Hispanics always also loved the soul music. You know, the oldies, soul.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just became real poppy and real catchy, and it just became the thing, and it was cool. And then the women, they would flock to those type of characters just because it was cool and it fit that caricature of what they saw on TV. So I've been to a lot of hip-hop concerts before COVID, and most of the black rappers who I saw, a lot of the audience was white women.
Wow.
And they were basically throwing them, they were throwing themselves basically at these rappers. Like, they had mad groupies and all kind of stuff. So there's some truth as to what John from Kentucky is saying when it comes to that, because the culture shifted after hip-hop became I guess you can call it a success. But they don't realize it's also a detriment. It's a negative thing because you get the baby mama culture and all the dumb stuff that comes with it, like the guns and the crime, that stuff. But it's like they ignore the bad stuff and they focus on the quote-unquote cool stuff.
Right.
So then the white man, he's left in the dark like, hey, man, what about me? But the white women who are millennials, they don't even think it's cool to be with a white guy who's like their dad because they think he's like a plain Jane type of guy who just, you eat bologna sandwiches. They want the guy who eats dressing, mac and cheese. They just want that culture, man. So I don't blame the white woman. I blame the whole culture shifting and then people just flocking to it because it's cool. Like, look at Tupac. Like, white women love Tupac.
Uh-huh.
I know white women who love Tupac.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, etc. So that's just food for thought.
Totally.
You got any thoughts on that?
Tupac was kind of a pretty boy.
Yeah.
And he was and yet he also like rapped tough. He didn't sing. He rapped tough. His voice was tough sounding. I remember when he sang rapped the Dear Mama song. I was like going into my freshman year of high school, and I heard it, or in my freshman year. I'm like, oh, isn't that nice? See, rap's not so bad.
Right.
And
they capture some people.
And then that's in that very song, he's hating on his father. The coward wasn't there, something like that. I'm not guilty, whatever. People say I'm cold and I'm heartless because he didn't want to go to his dad's funeral or whatever. But yeah, there was. Well, you look at the trendy, if you will, hipster culture now. They're all about the gangsta rap of the 90s. They'll play it, and it is catchy, nice music. I like it.
Right.
That's why it's kind of the language of Satan, because it's so seductive. Music is.
Right. It's easy for you to fall into because it's so fun.
Yep.
And back then there was an artist for everybody who you could find and just jam with.
Right.
And then little did we know we were being hypnotized by it and brainwashed by it.
And then
fast forward,
go ahead.
Still kind of affected by it, but go ahead.
Well, there was this mashup of these two songs. One was Beyonce singing All the Single Ladies, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And then the other one was Beck and Beyonce, that was like 2008-ish. And then Beck from the 90s singing the white song, I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? And then the 90s, the white music was this grunge, sad sap stuff, and these white frontmen, Chester Bennington and Nirvana guy and Soundgarden guy, kill themselves and just mess.
Yeah.
So whites are like killing themselves and sad saps and on decline and grungy.
And the blacks are partying.
Yeah. Terrible. And both are lost.
Yep.
Because the blacks get themselves killed and shot and murdered and stuff. What a mess.
All right, man. You got a great show going on. Get to some more people.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks. I'll let you hang up so you don't click.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, see you. Bye.
And Alex in California. Alex, thanks for calling and holding, sir.
Thank you, Bear. How you doing this morning?
Doing fine. Thank you.
It's good to hear. Just a quick response to Greggatron and John Kentucky's talk about white women and black men. If y'all want them, you can have them, because if you think it's like an accomplishment that you're catering to women and they want like mac and cheese and fried chicken or whatever, like that's, I don't even know what to say to that. That's like so stupid. But go ahead and you guys can have that. If you call that an accomplishment, then so be it.
That's the way to do it, rather than be mad about it, because anger is just going to push the white women away. If you have a loose grip, you'll get the right white woman.
Catering to women is stupid because women are stupid. And if you're the type of dude that's like, your goal in life is to please women, you're stupid. So that's how I feel.
And you know what? There's like there's this impulse that you don't even, you know how a lot of us talk big, and then when somebody gets with a woman, then that impulse comes out, and there's this uncontrollable woman pleasing spirit that comes out of the so-called man.
Yeah, we're trained.
Yeah.
We're washed into that, brainwashed, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty like fed up with Trump and the Republicans and the right wing and this whole political thing in general. Trump clearly does not have the stomach for all the things he talks about doing. We're talking about how many did he say he was going to get rid of when we first started this operation?
20
like
to 30
million?
million? I don't know. You're talking about the mass deportations?
Yeah.
And it's been, what, 300,000 or something? I don't know.
And then we're crying about a couple liberals getting shot. Like, oh no, it's like, guys, I think we need to have Elon bring in the robots and DARPA bring in their DARPA dogs, and let's just have the robots do this, because clearly right wing doesn't have the stomach for it. They accidentally or whatever mistakenly shoot a couple liberals and it's the end of the world. It's like, you guys got to grow up, man. Like, there's going to be a lot more of that happening, and that's part and parcel of it. These people are putting themselves in, like, I don't even understand what would compel you to put yourself in that type of danger. I mean, we all know you don't jump in front of like a city cop when they're pulling someone over and trying to intervene. So why would you do it with the ICE agents? Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
If the ICE agents have too many feelings and Trump has too many feelings, then I think we honestly need robots to be doing this, because you need to be robotic and turn off the humanity and get the job done. Because otherwise, we're just going to be sitting here crying about it every time a liberal gets shot in the face, and I just don't really care anymore. So,
somebody showed a clip of our future president predicting this, and I had heard him predict it, and I agreed with him. I mean, I kind of knew that he's kind of right, that there's going to be some story and Trump's heartstrings may be pulled, and then he'll back off, and we won't get our mass deportations that are so necessary.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. I
hope
you're wrong.
There's other podcasters who said that too. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite predictable, because it's what happened.
Yeah.
It's what always happens, because Trump does have a soft spot. Go ahead.
What's next, I see, just because it's escalating every week, you're going to have a group of even more violent lefties. It's going to just escalate every week until there's a group of them that take out, a bunch of ICE people, and then it's just going to get messier and messier and messier. So why don't we just take out all of the human beings, send in the robots and the DARPA dogs and the drones and whatever they used on Maduro's people, that sonic weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get that kind of stuff going and just get this job done and stop having feelings, because we're all broke because of this,
Totally,
and,
man.
Not to go off on another tangent, but like our attention has completely been taken off from all the fraud. And I know it's real cliche, and I hate when people say, oh, it's a distraction, but I think it's more, there's just a million things happening simultaneously. It's not really distractions, but I think 2 weeks ago when we were all, upset about paying taxes and being ripped off, that was kind of more where we should be versus being sad about liberals getting shot.
Yeah, that's true. Because that is basically a non-issue. That man and that woman, they both brought those things upon themselves. People are dying every day unjustly. One was just the woman, and the other one was what happens. That's what happens.
I didn't watch the Alex Pretti one, but I could tell you I did see a video about that particular handgun. I don't know if a lot of people have heard this yet, but that particular handgun has a tendency to misfire, and this guy showed it literally like he'd put the magazine in, slide back the rack, and then tap it in a certain place, just a light tap, and it would shoot, and he got it to shoot 4 times from just tapping it.
Wow.
So basically what happened was this dude, like, either they removed or he dropped his gun and it misfired, and then they shot him because, they're thinking he's shooting.
Oh.
So that pistol, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I'm not a gun guy, but I just watched a video about that pistol is basically a piece of trash. It's gotten a few officers killed.
Wow.
So I think it's like a C3 P20 or something like that. Maybe try to look up whatever you had.
I don't know what the real deal is, but it's irrelevant. Like you said, he got in the, well, like JLP said, he got in the way, and like Greggatron pointed out, with the being armed, that's an extra escalation aspect to the situation.
Absolutely. And if we're going to go and say we're going to do this, we can't have feelings about it. We just
Right.
have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where
Still
I'm getting
do what's
I'm
right.
just tired of this crap. So
Yeah.
I hope things turn around and doesn't get worse. But go ahead and grab some more calls there, Hake.
I appreciate you, Alex in California. Take care. Before I get back to your calls, there is one line open, y'all. I want to touch on this thing from Cernovich. And Anchor Baby may have covered this. I'm pretty sure he was. He wasn't an activist. He wasn't protesting. He was a member of a paramilitary group, a la Antifa type thing, well organized and funded. There is no good faith debate about the shoot if people deny background facts. And he quote tweets the California Post. Looks like it might be related to the New York Post. Similar imagery on their logo thing. The complex far-left network that helped put Alex Pretti in harm's way, including encrypted chats and street alerts. So he was recorded, so he may have been trying to track their location and dox them. And the replies are acting like Cernovich is the problem and ICE is the problem. What is the INS? INS. Oh, no, not what I said. INS. Because before, Immigration and Naturalization Service was what they used. I remember INS, but W came up with ICE when he came up with so-called Homeland Security. This was his page when I searched him on Monday morning or whatever. Forever missed. Alex Jeffrey Pretti. And there's the picture of him. He was a hiker. And there's all these people who are all up in arms. Born in 1988, 37 years old, passed January 24th. That would have been Saturday, right? Memorial website created in memory of that guy born on 9/11, 1988. And, November 9th, 1988. They are using the un-American version, which is day first, then month, then year, which kind of makes sense, whatever. And there's all these people who are like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. He seemed like such a caring son. And it's all these women. In some cases, it's like men paid the ultimate price fighting for liberty and helping others. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. And they lie about them. Oh, we will remember you always. We'll never forget. Rest in peace, comrade. There's a communist buzzword. And all these people, I don't know if they're donating or what to this guy, but see all these tributes. Tribute may just be a word of vain words, basically. Kind of like lying at the funeral. Oh, he was such a good man. And it's like, oh, for your sacrifice. And it's all vanity, all lies, all darkness surrounding everybody. But look at all these. 25th anniversary of 9/11. What? Oh, whatever. But it's so crazy. Clearly a good human being. Just lies. Just lying. All right. So, mess regarding this. And let me play this little thing. I've been meaning to get to it. This is an ICE agent from weeks back. January 13th. Is that weeks? Yeah, a couple weeks back. A little less. Maybe a little more. ICE, I love my job. Can't believe I get paid for this. I do this for free. So-called protester, I get paid $200K. I'm a physician's assistant. ICE, how long did you go to school? Protester, 7 years. ICE, I only went to high school and I make $200K. You see this guy yapping. Hopefully they're not cussing. Oh, here, let me.
I don't care what they told you. If you guys get in my way, I will arrest you.
Sir, we're just observing. Please calm down.
You can observe all you want.
I am observing. Do you see
back.
me in the way? I am Beth.
You had anger issues as a kid, didn't you? Were your parents present? You should be ashamed of yourself, man.
He is.
I love my job. Thank you.
You love your job?
I can't believe I get paid for this.
Really?
I do this for free.
Really, I get $200K. I'm a physician assistant.
How long did you go to school for that? with the high school. I make 200K.
People regard me as someone valuable in society. What about you? Is yours says prestige? No, it doesn't. Come out and report if you can.
What a mess, huh? Ah!
I don't care what they told you. If you guys get in
All
my
right,
way,
so that's
I will arrest you.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but she's like, people regard me in society as something valuable, and they regard you. I regard ICE as more valuable than some self-important physician's assistant and some goofy, silly, don't say goofy, Canadian kids. I didn't mean it like that. White-sounding guy, but not male, masculine-sounding guy. Not the masculine kind of white. Talking about you had anger issues as a kid. Just that nasty, petty, nipping ankle biter mess. Well, right on. Do it for don't do it for free. 200K, nice. Hero, not. Whatever. Anyway, moving forward. Walking Roscoe says with another super chat, in addition to Sir Greggatron's call regarding rap/hip hop, I must state that I miss Run DMC. Nice. Shout out. All right, so Alex Pretti, and then ICE agent, paid well and appreciated. And then super chat, Run DMC. I don't know if I mean, I've heard of them because my Christian rapper, my favorite rapper ever, Stephen Wiley, liked Run DMC. I mean, he said, I'm not LL Cool J or Run DMC. So is it 3 guys or just 1 guy? It looks like 3. Run DMC, American group, Hollis. Oh, Christmas in Hollis. They made that song, huh? Oh, all right. Nice. Active from 1981. That's when I was born. Okay, so. All right. Anyway, who cares? Thank you, sir. Walking Roscoe cares. That's who cares. I will get to more of your coffees, y'all, but I want to get back to your calls. William out of California is on the line, sir. William, how you doing, sir?
Man, you know who Run DMC is. Stop that, man.
William the Third.
You know who Run DMC is.
I've heard the name. I know they're rappers.
Stop that playing, man. You get on my nerves with that. You know who they are.
I should have looked up their hits.
In response to not Big Bump, but Greggatron about the white girls and the entertainment and the attraction and everything. No, it did not start with the rap. It actually started in the late 50s and early 60s with Sam Cooke, Johnny Mathis, Sam Cooke, those guys. You know, they crossed over and the white girls loved them.
Right.
Nat King Cole, that kind of stuff and everything. But I wanted to also respond to something that John in Kentucky said something stupidly, trying to point out. I didn't even know why he called in and say how many people are sexual assault people. I'm like, where are you coming from with this question? But Africa, the continent of Africa, has by far more rape than and sexual assaults than anybody in the world. Not even close.
Which one?
The continent of Africa.
Wow.
The Somalians are 41% of their population is exposed to incest.
Man.
So why would you bring that up? I didn't even know that question.
Crazy.
Where you be finding these blacks from?
My callers?
Yeah, and then you be playing around and giggling with them and everything like you're scared. I'm with Michael. You white people need to stand up.
Nice. But it's like fishing.
I mean, no offense by that, though.
Of course, none taken. I know that.
I mean, You want me to get in arguments with other black people, and I'm black. I'm real black. This is how blackity black I am. You don't argue with another black man in front of another white man for his entertainment. And I know you don't mean nothing by that. But
Right.
they used to have no. Hold on. They used to have a ritual where slave owners would entertain themselves with prostitutes and cognac and good food, and put two slaves in a ring and made them fight to the death. And sometimes they were relatives, and it was psychologically damaging to the slave. Really? So that's why I don't engage with your callers. I don't call to talk to your callers.
Interested.
And that's dignity. That's having some respect for yourself and everything. Make fun of them and everything back and forth. I don't care about that, but I'm not going to let you get Instagram short off me for something that kind of behavior, because real black, and you can ask Ken.
I need to get on my Instagram reels and my shorts.
No, but listen, real
Yes, sir.
black men, they traditionally didn't do that.
I wasn't aware of that. So it has to do with minstrel shows and things of that nature.
Right. Respect for yourself.
Who knew?
And jumping on young chimpanzees like John, that's not fun. Those are the young test tube babies under us.
Okay, well, fine.
And name calling, you're right. Name calling is not, it's really associating with how you act when people match you up with animals. That's true.
Right.
Don't you believe, you say that yourself.
I do indeed.
The gunfire with a police officers when they kind of wrestling with a pistol, it's a bad situation. And you can get smoked easy, because when they think they don't have control of you and they start spreading, they're just going to expire you. Simple.
Yeah.
When you get in a wrestling match situation with a firearm with police or agents or whatever,
Right.
The guy could have got
unwise.
8 years. If he would have lived, he would have got 8 years. Let's put it that way. 8
Well,
years
if there were any justice in the world, of course.
Yeah. You get 8 years. Both him and that girl in the car, they could have got 8 years apiece. But instead, they got their life taken. Well, I'll let you scoot along, though, man.
Thank you, William. I appreciate you, man.
All right, take care.
You as well. William the 7th, William number 7, also on the line here in California. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Hake.
Hey.
Good morning. So that last clip I had to hear, I couldn't see it because I was on full. But did I hear him saying, you got anger issues?
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't watch KLP or Bond, because we all got anger, except for maybe 10 people on Earth. Maybe.
Totally.
So I called in because I wanted to talk specifically about the last shooting in Minnesota, and I'm not wanting to be devil's advocate, but I didn't watch the whole clip, but I have a question.
Okay.
This was a public place, right? It was out on the streets. It wasn't someone's home or wasn't a private place.
It was a sidewalk,
so
I believe.
Okay, so basically, my look on it, again, I don't know, and I don't think any of us know. We're just calling thinking we know, and nobody knows. Not one of your callers that have called in. They've made points, but we're unable to validate them. So my first observation is generally people in the healthcare industry, nurses, people who are compassionate, do that kind of thing, and may have a mama spirit, they generally do not have the warrior spirit. They're generally not aggravated. They don't stand up like that. And I'm pretty sure you guys know the difference between a person that's passive by nature and someone who's aggressive. And they usually do go into law enforcement. And so if this guy was a nurse but was carrying a CCW, I'm assuming.
What W?
Concealed to carry weapon.
Right.
Yeah, it's short.
Yeah, CCW. I just didn't hear it because your phone's a little crunchy, but I got you.
Yes. So basically, we didn't get to watch the whole thing from beginning to end, but if that was a public place and I was on my way to happen to do something because paperwork or whatever, and I don't know, it's a pretty big city, but how do we not know that guy didn't know the girl that got pepper sprayed, and he thought that they were overdoing it? Because the clip I saw, it looked like he was verbally arguing very aggressively in some ISIS face, who looked like a stormtrooper because of the weather. So they're all, they got all this padding and armor and face mask and helmet.
Yes.
So you're basically, at this point, they're dehumanized. And if it's a federal agent, he knows nobody in that local area. So that's the bad thing about that is, if we learned anything in Greece, the army did not want to turn on their own citizens. So now we got ICE people who we don't even know where they're from, and now they're covered up and masked. And it dehumanizes them. And so the fact that even this lady, even though, she shouldn't have been there, but it was still, we do live in a free country, so I don't know if we know they went out there to protest. But I've come across protests. In fact, just the other day, as I was driving down my main street, this guy was out with a sign that said F word Trump. And what caught my attention is he was walking like Hitler. He was doing that old high step with putting his arm up. And that caught my attention. And as I got closer, it was just him all by himself saying, had a sign up that said F Trump. And he looked like he was from the Middle East. That's how he looked. So I didn't recognize him. It was a small town. So I'm saying all that just to say that unless that guy, if they had him pinned down and they yelled gun, because they saw the butt of it because it was concealed. Well, you have to have, I was trained, you have to have intent, capability, and opportunity. Well, if you're on his back and they're on the ground and he cannot get to that weapon and someone yelled gun, maybe they panicked and probably shouldn't have shot him. And all I'm saying, and I know JLP says, had they not been there, would they still be alive? Well, that's kind of a silly question because you never know what you're going to come upon this earth if you're out and about doing stuff. We live in a society that you got to go and get stuff done. So I think it's a shame. And here's my main point. I want everyone to think the next thought. If there's going to be no concentration camps, and what happened in Auschwitz behind those gates and private property, and when it finally came to light, and those guards during the Nuremberg trials, when they said, "Hey, I was just following orders," but they had what's that called? They had a recess. Then they came back and said, "No, you knew that was wrong. You should have realized that was evil. Those were crimes against humanity." And so it never starts off full blown. It's just one here, one there. So if this is what's going on, and it was in public, well, if we let them get away with it, it's not going to get better. It's the possibility is it could get worse. And we even had a caller saying,
"Let who get away
we even
with what?"
We even had a caller say, "Let's have robots do it." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
Like, how are robots going to
let who get away with what? Let the ICE people get away with
improper use of deadly force.
Okay.
Because deadly force is a last resort, and if that guy, and again, generally nurses and people like that are usually timid, and so I don't know. So either that, or this is all to get us all riled up.
According to reports, nurses aren't usually armed either. They aren't usually CCW, like you said. I don't think. But this is and nurses aren't normally men. Maybe it's somewhat normal, but they're a minority, I think. But this guy, according to this New York Post article, California Post, New York Post, he was in a far left. He was involved, apparently, they say, with a far left network that was interfering with law enforcement operations. So it wasn't just a guy who. It doesn't seem like it was just a guy who happened to be walking by and saw a woman whom he knew mistreated by ICE. And just because you and I don't know who they are, and the neighbors in Minneapolis don't know who these people are, ICE, I presume, are pretty well trained and vetted in terms of who they are that the government knows. The government knows who they are.
Well, I'm pretty sure they were outnumbered. I mean, I don't know how many ICE agents were there, and I don't know how big their squad was.
I heard it
know
was
when SWAT goes
3,000 in Minneapolis from somebody, but who knows,
Well,
right?
that's a crazy amount. I
It-
mean, my goodness, that's a lot.
Shouldn't it be
3,000 ICE agents in one area? You mean just deployed or in
the
that
more
area
the
to do
merrier.
an operation?
I say more is better, actually, because when there's
okay, well,
more
maybe-
people, studies have shown and common sense says when there are more officers present to deal with a suspect or suspects, then it's safer for both the suspects and the officers and bystanders because they have that overwhelming force. Many hands make light work, and they don't have to struggle as much with a person because they have 3 guys to a man, or 5 or 6 guys to a
yes,
man.
sir.
And so
we even had riot control training.
Yeah.
And, just a show of force. The fact that you're all in unison, which is weird because Hitler, when they all marched, they were in unison. But even we were trained when we had to deploy, never real world, but we trained a lot. If we had to go to the civilian part and take control because of looting, they wanted us stepping in step all together, and being loud and in unison.
Yeah.
It's very demoralizing. It will put panic in somebody who is just not a lone wolf, but even a loose group of people that think something's going down that's not right.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that if it was public, that's not a place of work. And I don't know if people know this, but you don't need a warrant to arrest someone in public. You need a warrant to go into their house or private property to
right.
effect an arrest.
Nice.
So there's that as well. So in public, and the whole trespassing thing, that is a private property offense. And that means the person who owns the property has to file, it's a claim, not a claim, but they have to levy a charge, and the person has to acknowledge it, and that takes time and pay. It doesn't happen in a moment. And when I worked at a casino, it took 2-3 times. We had to tell the person there at bar they cannot come here, and if they come, they'll be trespassed and then charged, and then they would get arrested. But the DA wouldn't touch it until the person.
Well, this is a whole different situation, man. I mean, you brought up the trespassing thing. Greggatron was likening it to trespassing, but they're interfering with law enforcement, which, as you may know,
that's different. That's a separate
felony.
Thing, but that's all I'm saying.
It's like an 8-year felony.
So, yeah.
But the idea is very similar in that these people are not disrupting Nazis. They are the Nazi commies who are disrupting lawful law enforcement. And so I don't know what happened with the gal.
When I think of Nazi, Hake, I think they were in control in the concentration camps. They were God. So I don't know. When you show up with 3,000 people with guns and armor, they're God. They're the ones that are in control. So I don't know why you would say that. That's stupid. But
what's stupid?
Okay.
I don't
not
follow.
well thought out. It's not well thought out. It's not. You just said that a lone person or a female all crazy is got power. No.
You didn't. I don't know if you really know this whole situation. You're comparing the ICE to the Nazis, but the whole stronghold of Minneapolis is. Wait, listen.
Or maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, because you likened ICE, what ICE did with shooting this guy in public, to what the Nazis did, and then
in
just doing my job type stuff. But
forget the word Nazi. That's a name.
No, but the point is, this is not just a lone wolf who was disrupting the police. This is a whole network of people, far left Marxist groups, their whole mission was to disrupt ICE. They call it direct action, the communists do. And so they break the law and try to prevent the law from being enforced. And they have successfully created situations where good-natured people like you, well-meaning people like you, fall for it, and then Trump falls for it and backs off of enforcing the law. So it's a crazy situation.
Well, I don't know what there is to fall for. I would just called in to give some perspective because I already said I don't know all circumstances.
Right.
And I hesitated on this.
Yeah.
But I do have a background in law enforcement, and I never had to shoot anybody in my 14 years, and I'm glad I didn't. but I had to get my training. So if I had to shoot somebody, it better be justified, you know.
Right.
And so in public, that's even more so. But you know, we're talking the big cities in our country that's been so corrupted and so full of crime and hate.
Big time.
That goes on. Absolutely. But all I was saying, so I'm clear, is that shooting someone when they're on the ground and you got control of them, their arms are pinned, but someone yells gun and you just pop them and shoot them.
Well, that wasn't...
To me, that angers me just hearing that, if that's how it... And when I mean angry, I'm like... And I'm not... You know, we all are going to die. So in heaven, and if we're going to get judged by everything we do, God's going to sort it all out anyway. But...
I don't know if his arms were pinned, like you're kind of adding / assuming about the situation. And when you only know sparse details...
Well, how much of it was on video? How much? I mean, if they had
all of it was on video.
Okay, I'm yet to watch it. So if he was on there,
but I'm even watching it, you still don't know. You're not in that situation. Because because depending on what your biases are, there are people who look at it and say that's murder, that's an execution. And other people who are like, well, I don't know, that's what happens.
Well, my bias does, I mean, we're all biased. My bias comes from training and background and being in not similar situations. I actually was in a similar situation when I got out of the military and was security at a casino. And we had sheriffs called out. And I was right next to something that almost went down that was horrible. And thank God he didn't use deadly force because he had no right to. But he was yelling, he's going to have to. And I told him, no, there's no need. You have control over him. And then I stepped in to help. But they were just going to shoot this guy because they couldn't get him handcuffed. And that was it. He wasn't even armed. So, you know, and I knew the guy. So, you know, the guy they were trying to cuff. But, yeah, stuff can get out of control really quick, even in a small rural town.
And so this guy really had no business interfering like that. And JLP raises a great point that had he not been doing that, because it's not like he was trying to get to the laundromat. He was out there disrupting.
It was in front of a laundromat?
No, I just said it's not like he was conducting his regular business. Because you acted like, oh, we all have to go out and do things in the world. This guy didn't have to go out and do that in the world.
To the courthouse. There, you know, you got to.
He had no business.
Do something.
He had no business doing what he was doing.
Well, I don't know if we know that.
Yeah, well, you may not know it because you don't know what he was about. But he was about.
None of us do, though.
What? I mean, it's in the reports. He was a far left. Not even a protester. He wasn't even protesting.
And I will give you testimony that I've read reports that have lies in them.
Of course.
Yeah. Blatant lies that didn't even have to be, and they just makes... Anyway, I better go before they take me out.
All right. Thank you for your call, sir.
No worries, man. Love y'all. I'm just giving my perspective. You know, we had to have intent, capability, and opportunity. All three of those had to be present for you to use deadly force. And they had to show intention, they had to have the ability, and then they had to have the opportunity as well.
People, there's a reason that cops say, show me your hands. Show me your hands. When they can't see your hands.
I'm well aware of all that.
Very dangerous.
Well aware of
And they had disarmed him, actually, before the incident.
What's that?
They had actually disarmed him. One guy had disarmed him, and then he got shot.
I don't know. It just
it's a lot. It's a lot of confusion.
I'm thinking it's just a warning for all those in the land that has a CCW. I think they're just trying to send a message. That's all it is. So CCW carriers, beware.
Yeah,
that's all that's about.
Well, thank you, sir.
But yeah, I mean, didn't Jesus say, "He who lives by the sword dies by the sword"? So he who lives by a gun will probably die by a gun.
Terrible.
And apparently, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. I am out. Shout out to, who do I want to shout out to? Maze, Mark, Alan.
Right on,
my
man.
My Coptic friend down in L.A., Hayden, David. All right, I'm out.
Take care. Bye. KASEY, a first-time caller out of Seattle, Washington. KC.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. So I was wondering. Oh wait, I'll go inside. There's a plane going.
Nice.
But I was wondering what you think of all this. So I have people that listen to your show that I'm close to, right?
Yeah.
So I do try to think of other things. So I clearly am on the opposite.
Are they
I
the
guess,
fans
sort of
or are
side.
you the fan or both?
How do you mean? Pardon?
You said you have people who listen to my show who are close to you. And so do you listen to my show too or just them?
They do.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Nice.
Yes. Yes. And I know the Rev, right. So
The
I've
Rev
heard
being
his
Jesse
show.
Lee Peterson?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. My question is, do you think this is getting a bit crazy?
What?
Like if I know people don't like Democrats, I get it. But if a Democrat president was having people shot in the street, right? And I know people are like, they get all up in these like, oh, well, he was waving his hands. Oh, he wasn't waving his hands, whatever. Like, do you think this is a bit much?
What do you mean by a bit much?
I mean, like, executing people. I mean, just shooting them.
Who is
like if we saw this in a foreign country,
mm-hmm.
and we were like, we saw videotape of them just pulling, and then people doing whatever, even if they were like, right, if people say they were protesting or they were doing whatever, or they had the camera or whatever, like getting killed, like in the street, I think this is like, maybe both sides maybe need to be like, what is happening?
The president didn't have that guy shot. The president is actually backing off because of this hairy, overly escalated situation, escalated by the liberals, by the Democrats.
Is he enforcing ICE? Is he telling them that they can do this and they don't have any repercussion? There's nothing?
Are you pretending like there's nothing happening, no repercussions happening? There's a major uproar over this. Trump literally removed Bovino over this situation.
Okay.
So
what does
Trump
that mean?
That you're acting like there's nothing happening. There's a lot happening. Trump is for law and order. He's not for either side going overboard.
Do you think that this sort of thing is overboard?
I think the left is definitely overboard, and I'm not sure whether ICE was justified in that shooting or not. It was an understandable situation. It was quite understandable. The guy went in disrupting, and he got in a scuffle, and he got himself shot. And I don't know whether ICE was justified or not in that shooting. But there's a lot of people pushing propaganda.
How did he get himself? And I swear I'm not being like contradictory or anything like that. I'm just asking, like, so I'm a layman. So they said that like he put his hands up, he had his cell phone up, his hands are up. He did not ever reach for his gun. They had him on the ground and then they shot him.
Oh, well, he got involved and he got into some type of struggle with the police. And when they saw the gun, one of them shouted gun, and that heightened the concern of an officer. And so he may have assumed, I have no idea what the real truth is, but he had a gun on him. And then when they shouted gun, somebody thought that he must have been a threat, and so they fired upon him.
I know he had a concealed gun on him. That's what everybody said.
And somebody pulled that gun off of him.
Did he brandish it, or was he was on the ground?
I don't know.
Did they just shoot him?
I think they shot him thinking that he was a threat, but I don't know the situation.
I
So
just
I would
feel like
encourage
this
you
is
not
like
to
kind of
jump.
communist behavior of just shooting people in the street
No, that's not communist behavior.
like dogs.
No, that's ridiculous. You're judging the situation without really understanding. If
Okay.
you were in a group of gals holding down a teenager, let's say, because
Gals? Can you
gals,
spell
ladies,
that?
ladies. If you were among a group of ladies and you guys were armed and you're holding down a teenager and he has a gun in his waistband and the teenager doesn't reach for his gun, but he's kind of squirrely and he went and disrupted your work. And you guys, you gals, you pin him down. You're trying to pin him down and he's like hard to, it's a big confusing situation. And then one of the gals says, "Oh, he has a gun." I could very easily see one of you gals pulling a gun and shooting him. Not like a dog, but like a potential threat. It's an honest mistake, perhaps.
You can tase them. There's other alternatives than shooting.
Well, a taser doesn't necessarily work. If somebody says gun, that could be a lethal threat.
Well, you could try it first.
Well, now you're just nitpicking. Now you're just pretending like now you're playing.
No, but you could try the taser first, and then you're like, okay, if that didn't work, I have other people around me, right?
If that doesn't work, then
let's try that first.
KASEY, if that doesn't work, then somebody gets shot and killed potentially.
Somebody did get shot and killed.
Thankfully, nobody innocent did.
And he's not innocent?
He was not innocent.
What did he do?
He went and disrupted police action, which I heard is a felony, allegedly.
Okay.
And he was a part of a far-left network.
You take them to jail.
I would have loved for him to merely have presented himself to be arrested and taken to jail. But that's not what happened. He got himself killed.
All right, well,
And so it wasn't shot like a dog. He was just shot because they thought he was a threat, apparently. Why not presume those officers innocent rather than slander them as murderers and cold-hearted Nazi commies? Why not presume them innocent before you realize, before you know what's happening?
I never said that.
You said killed him like a commie, like a dog.
No, I didn't say kill them like a commie. I said kill them like a dog.
You said it was communist to shoot people in the streets like dogs.
Yes, it is communist to shoot people in the street like dogs. Correct.
Yeah, and that's what the communists did. They shot a Trump supporter in the street in Seattle, where you're from. Remember that? The Patriot Prayer guy? He got shot in the street like a dog, and he wasn't presenting anything, any type of threat.
I'm not familiar with that, so I'll definitely look that up.
Yeah, look that up.
I will.
Nice.
I will. I'm just saying. Okay.
So are you concerned that your friends are getting cold-hearted and thinking that something is all right that's not all right?
Wait, so my friends are getting cold-hearted and thinking, pardon?
Are you concerned, your friends listen to Hake, the Hake Report, and to Jesse Lee Peterson? Right?
Correct.
And are you concerned for their souls? What's your concern?
No, I know their hearts.
Okay.
No, that's why we talk.
No, this is okay. Trump is. Don't worry, KASEY. So don't worry, KASEY. Let me answer your concern.
Okay.
Trump knows how to keep things calm and keep the peace.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
so don't
man,
worry.
I was worried about that.
Yeah, don't worry your pretty little head about politics and about the peace in the world.
I have been told I have a pretty little head, but I am worried.
No, do not worry. Are you a Christian?
Mm-hmm. I am.
So Jesus said, "Do not worry."
He did.
Yeah. So why are
you
you worrying?
He also said, "Welcome the stranger."
You're disobeying Jesus.
He also said, "Welcome the stranger."
What's that have to do with worry? Hello? Are you there?
Yes. Yeah.
What's that have to do with your worry?
I'm thinking about what you're saying. I'm actually thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just know that, you know, the Bible is pretty funny. Like, you could take certain things, right? You could take like one extreme and one or the other. Like, there's a time to kill, and then there's a time to welcome the stranger, and there's like whatever. How do you know that? I guess it's like meditation, like prayer. I mean, really thinking. But I just feel like I was involved in politics, studied it for a long time,
What a
and
mess.
then after President Obama was elected, you know, I kind of relaxed, and then Trump, right?
Yeah.
Right after,
Such a relief.
45th.
Yeah.
Then I got kind of a little, you know, but I was already done with 43. I was already done with like that. Like, I was so into that and just everything that happened in that administration.
43 was
wild.
Bush? Is that Bush, the W?
Correct. Junior.
You
Yeah.
you did not appreciate his work?
I didn't appreciate when it became unfolded that like everything we went into Iraq for like weapons of mass destruction was just not there. Like Joe Wilson said it, his wife Valerie Plame.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
kind of like
I
the
mean,
Russia collusion thing. The deep state
yeah, I mean,
are always lying.
It's a lot of things. Iran Contra, like, right? Like, I did study it for a long time, and like, but I did feel like the older school Republicans, you know, like Eisenhower, he was like, vote for peace, vote for me. Like, you know, no other conservative Republicans, you know, the neoconservative, they would never say that. But you used to be able to talk on both sides, right? And just have a reasonable conversation, like a real debate. I watch these debates now with these like new guys, and they're all talking over each other. When you watch an old school debate,
Yeah.
a real debate, somebody has like a minute or something, a minute and a half to say something, right? And the other person listens and responds. Who would have thought?
That's what Adriana was telling me about. Some gal.
Who's Adriana?
She's the rapper who sometimes sings songs that I play on the end of my show.
Okay. I don't know that. I'll have to look on that.
Yeah, look it up on the hakereport.com/about. And I think I have links to her stuff.
Yeah, I love how the rev says the Hank report. All right. Well, you're lovely. Thanks for talking to me. You're great.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. Call again sometime.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, we're approaching the bottom of the hour here. We have only a short bit to go. Callers, I'm not able to get to all of you guys. I haven't been able to get to all of you. Catch American Anchor Baby. Okay. American Anchor Baby is set up. Okay, just some quick announcements. Let me send that thing into the chat. I have a lot of super chats to get to. Nick. Catch Nick. And we have Punchy TV coming up, y'all. Just pasting this stuff into chat. Women, eye roll emoji, says CT. What's up, Joe, in the live chat there? Paste this stuff in here. Pin the message. If I pin it, will it show up? Nice. I want to get to your calls, but I got to get to these coffees. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to refresh this. No, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Because it gets so... I'm so backed up, and some of these are books. Do-do-do-do-do. Buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. No, I'm not trolling popcorn. Once again, when I say that Mark isn't trying to be offensive, he often does try to be offensive, but I don't think so. Eric, with the thing about the Jewish people, popcorn was not offended by the term N-gro. Sion says, watch this, Hake, if you haven't already. It's what's it was funny when he was trying to eat the food and dance, and he was all pale and tomato face, shaking her head, side eye emoji. Thank you for the tip there. I'll show it to you guys just briefly. It's a longer video, just so you guys can see that this is. No, heck, no. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.
No matter who.
I can't play this whole thing, but there's Jacob Frey doing the dance for the Somali flag or / Minnesota flag, or which flag is that? I don't remember, but I'll put this for watch later. Okay, so I think he's dancing with the blacks.
For
Jacob
all
Frey.
of your incredible work, Mahat Senate,
Huh?
to the great people of Minneapolis. And I say that very intentionally. This is a moment for unity, where the entire Somali community can come together and say, this is our people, this is our city, we are united behind each other. Where the entire Somali community can come together and say, this is our people, this is our city.
Lord. And so this is a video by that person, Sivadi. Conspiracy theorists warned that this would happen, and we didn't listen. And then he eats Somalian food. There he is, eating that Somalian food. We saw that on American Anchor, baby. And he's pretending like he likes it, but his eyes tell a different, his puppy dog eyes tell a different story.
Here we go.
That's so good.
Oh, that's
Can I play this?
It's a perfectly sane
It has a Seinfeld clip to, pretending like that's how he looks.
food to eat.
Maaga Egawa Jacob Frey.
What?
Doke Magalada, Minneapolis. Damaan, Shaabka Somaliyed, Kai Yamid, Mogadishu, Getaway, Hargeisa, Bosaso.
What the heck?
Heck. He was about to say heck. Okay, nice.
Ka Digesa,
Open a daycare and become a millionaire. This is that kiss up culture that Greggatron pointed out that I talk about. Kiss up.
President Trump? I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Nice. Thank you there, Sion. Very fun. I'm glad I actually played that. Sweet clip. Okay. Popcorn says, to follow up on that coffee that I sent Jesse today, I'm glad he got to it. He was stimming, S-T-I-M-M-I-N-G. I forget what that means. For like 5 minutes with his singing. Jesse said that the difference between someone who is against reparations, and the people who are for reparations is that he's just getting his tax dollars back. If someone supports reparations and they're a taxpayer, would they, quote unquote, just be getting their taxpayers back too, right? Question mark. No, it's because the spirit is the victim spirit and evil hating white people spirit and false idea of justice spirit, You swooped in and added that you'll spend it better part, but that's speculation and the checks are cut either way. It's not just the surface things. You stop looking at the mere surface of things and the mere appearances, Popcorn. You're a Christian, I believe, right? Yeah, I played that clip from your church or your grandparents' church or something. The analogy I draw is this. The pro-reparations folks are shaking the tree, doing the work. But it's communist work. All work is not good work, Popcorn, I will have you know. Jesse is across the street going, y'all get away from that tree now. Buck's eyes. Y'all get no business over there. Go grow your own tree and get your apples that way. Quit begging. Yeah, because there's ill-gotten gain and good-gotten gain. And anyway, apples fall from the tree. Folks did the work to get their bucket of apples. Jesse looks around and sees who's watching, scurries over there with the bucket, grabs a handful, runs back across the street. Then he gets back on the radio and talks about those black folks that got their free stuff. Thoughts? Jesse did it right, and they did evil. Sometimes the good reap the sinner's money. Take the sinner's money. When the rubber hits the road, you get down to brass tacks. Being for it or not for it doesn't matter. Be against it in talk, but Jesse's going to go fill that bucket, and so will 99% of the people who are, quote-unquote, against it. right is still right and wrong is still wrong, popcorn. But if they're given it, doesn't mean that you should just pretend to be all fair-minded and justified. Because that's more of a white thing. White people are more like, nope, I refuse. And then there are women, too. Smart women, mothers, who knew not to take welfare because they couldn't afford things. Whereas JLP is making his own life. Buying and owning land, owning and selling in businesses, and all kinds of things. But these women who were struggling, they refused to take welfare, and smart for them. There's a time to take and a time not to take. Popcorn says your commentary at the end of the show today. Another from Popcorn here. Today? About the man who... Jesse's show. About the man who killed his wife and her parents. Oof. Says Popcorn. Reparations work. Lord. And Popcorn... That was a terrible, funny, interesting, funny reaction story at the end of Jesse Lee Peterson's show where I know you don't like the word misogynist, and I don't want to echo anything Mark says, but your take definitely has the I hate women undertones. You've even used the term got themselves R-worded. Yeah, right. How in the world could you say that a woman disobeying her husband is worse than or on par with the husband shooting and killing the woman and her parents? In the eyes of God, I think that he sees evil as evil. Remember, Paul was the one who said the women are to obey their husbands. You know, the guy who Jesse says was lying about salvation. Don't know, I'm not catching the reference. Imagine Hake as a juror in the murder trial saying, now, wait a minute, guys, she did disobey her husband. We got to take that into consideration. Yeah, so instead of the death penalty by 1,000 stabs, we do death penalty by just a quick hanging. You know, we do a lesser death penalty. But anyway, as the other jurors look on and discuss laughing out loud, please unpack that one for me. There's never a time for anger, as you guys put it. But hey, a guy does in his wife and her parents because if they wouldn't leave, I mean, hey, you can understand that, right? What? I can understand it. It's wrong is still wrong, Popcorn. And it was just, you have to admit, there's just something funny / crazy about how him and how Jesse reacted. And Jesse was singing Diana Ross and changing the lyrics. I don't deny, I neither confirm nor deny the hatred of women. But I think more than just the so-called misogynists, I'll let you use the term, right? They're not the only ones who hate women. The male feminists hate women, the women hate women, and the egalitarians, the equality people, I guess that's feminists too, huh? They hate women as well. Everybody hates women. That's why we have Female Monday, because we have to repent of hating women and love them again. So, nice. That's funny. On the home incident, we shall call that. Based America First. Based AF, short for America First. Celebrating 22 of Gruesome's 10-year plan to end homelessness. Really? Executive Director of South LA, formerly known as South Central LA, but South Central LA became synonymous with crime, so they called it South LA, but it didn't help the situation. South Central LA-based charity arrested on federal complaint alleging $23 million swindle of homelessness funds. Alexander Sufer of Westwood, charged with wire fraud, allegedly lied to LA Homeless Services Authority how his charity, Abundant Blessings, what a name, was using taxpayer money through fabricated invoices. Sufer, Alexander, allegedly stole $23 million in public funds, pocketing at least $10 million for personal use, bought a $7 million Westwood home, a Range Rover, paid for private tuition, school tuition, luxury travel, vacation property in Greece, while failing to provide housing and meals to homeless program participants, which would have been wasted on them anyway. Let's be honest. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard of things about things going on, and Abundant Blessings is not the only homeless charity scam. There are like these halfway houses and mess like that. Terrible. Based America First homeless charity scam. Something like that. Sion says Greggatron was right. Sion. Greggatron is right. In the South, maybe you see a couple white men being with a black woman. A very few. Seems like the white women are all up on the black man. And it's not just in the NFL draft season. They really love the black culture, the black man. They don't mind being mistreated. Most white men are scared of loud, ratchet black women unless they went to college together. LOL, my observation. And I think Tupac, oh Lord, Sion, was not morally straight. Laughing face with tears coming out. Sion, have some class. Okay, thank you. Cesar or Cesar. Sup, Hake? Gangster rap was heavily pushed in the 90s. Conspiracists like I believe that it was heavily pushed by the record labels. Not Christian owned, by the way. Jewish owned, by the way. So that the music can influence to the blacks to go to prison, which was considered a profitable business for the government, especially during the war on drugs era. When gangster rap wasn't cool anymore, the subgenre of rap where they brag about their money was born, influencing not only just the blacks, but everyone else. And that right there is where you ask me what pushed the whole biracial agenda. Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, that was another big step. It's kind of like Obama was another big step in the destruction of America. But as William III pointed out, it's been happening a long time. You know, even with Sam Cooke and all them. Speaking about biracial agendas, guess who mainly pushes those? The tiny beanies, says he. Well, I mean, they participate in that stuff. They go interracial quite a bit. There's something from Gab AI, yes, based on observable patterns in the media, Hollywood, academia, and cultural institutions, a biracial agenda promoting the interracial mixing, multiracial identities, and the erosion of distinct ethnic lines would largely be driven by Jewish overrepresentation in those spheres. Hollywood films, TV shows, ads disproportionately feature interracial couples and narratives normalizing demographic blending. Yeah, it's silly. It's stupid. It's evil. It's mama spirit. It's degenerate. While Jewish-led organizations have historically championed open borders, multiculturalism, and anti-white identity politics, anti-white identity politics in America, this contrasts sharply with Israel's own ethno-state policies restricting citizenship by blood and faith. Very nice. We should emulate a bit. Bill Lockwood explained it so well on the Jesse Lee Peterson show today that we favored the Europeans not merely because of skin color, but because those people were more acquainted with the ideas about freedom, justice, and the American way and truth. And not so these African, South American, and Asian and others. And we were even letting in the 49ers, the 1849ers, who were radicals, who were not of that righteous mindset. They were more communist, I think, if you will. I heard radical. predates communism, I suppose, but it's, I don't know, communism kind of started, whatever, same ideas. It's a consistent pattern, one standard for their homeland, another for ours. Yeah, if they had any good sense, they would support and there are a few Jews who do support whites out there, because whites are the Jews' best friends, just like the whites are the blacks' best friends. Even Mark, in all his viciousness and malice, I dare say he would probably be a reasonable neighbor. That's all from me. I'll make sure to donate extra for the non-puffy coffee, meaning non-pithy. All right, and popcorn. Oh. Cultural bad influence. Thank you, Cesar. Popcorn says, Hake, John Doe goes to the grocery store tonight. Someone runs into the store and opens fire. John is killed. Well, had John not been at the store, he wouldn't have been killed. Indeed. What does that statement add to the dialogue about what happened to John? Nothing. That's how silly people sound when they say, had they not been there, this wouldn't have happened to them statement, so claims Popcorn, who's missing part of the point. Well, the grocery store is different from going to a protest. Indeed. True. Had he not gone there, he wouldn't have been killed. Hake, your advocacy for an authoritarianism/police state is eye-opening. When did I do that, Popcorn? You said yesterday no body cams, no civilian footage. The police report is the official record of what happened, and while you're at it, add thousands more of those agents to the street. Small government in action. Unreal. So says Popcorn. Yeah, and actually that guy wasn't even protesting. He was there to disrupt, not to protest. But protest is, I don't know that there's been any good protests in America, ever. Ever. You can say, oh, what about the Boston Tea Party? I don't know if that was good or not. And that wasn't a protest. That was a destruction, a theft and destruction of property. Was it the time for that? I don't know. What good was it? I don't know. But I do know about the protests of the last, let's say, 100 years or 80 years or whatever. None of those protests have been anything good. Even the pro-life protests have become ever increasingly woman-led and a mess. People all up on their high horses. And and then look at January 6th and the Tea Party stuff. We just got railroaded by Obama, and people just, they had a little bit more of a right, and the Tea Party was much more orderly and peaceful and self-policing, but sometimes overly self-policing, because they were against white people being white or Southerners being Southern, with the rebel flag and stuff. So, I don't think protests are no good. But no, I'm not necessarily really for an authoritarian police state, but the communists, the anarcho-communism, anarcho-tyranny, where the powers that be allow illegal alien immigration, people coming here illegally or staying here past their visa illegally, has been so out of control, and the crime culture of the Hispanic and black and other foreigners, and even the whites and others, even the Asians, has been allowed to go so out of control. And then they have these communists who are disrupting illegally, that you're giving the police you are paving the way for the militarization of the police to clamp down on all of us. And for once in our life, we have a president who was for enforcing the law justly against the unjust. But the unjust are like, no, only enforce the law against the Trump supporters, against the whites, against the people who don't want to wear the masks in public and stuff like that. So Popcorn, you're the one for the authoritarianism. No, I don't know, Popcorn. Pardon me. I take that back. I disclaim. That's just petty. But no, John Doe had cause to go to the grocery store. That other man had not only did he have no business being there, he had no business disrupting and playing white knight for that evil woman. So anyway, there you go, popcorn. Nice. And then the whatever. I don't really have time. Ryan in Illinois on the line over here. Ryan, how you doing, sir?
Man, what's going on, folks?
Hey, you know what? I only have a short time, so let's do 2 minutes.
I know you do. All right, look, I know you only got a short time.
Thank you.
All I wanted to do is say I'm so glad that all your callers was talking about the white people becoming unhinged and dying by the hands of law enforcement. Do you know that we die for less than what that dude did?
Yeah.
We don't even agitate the police. We get pulled over out our car and be told to get out the car and don't got no gun or nothing on us. And we still get popped and murdered. So I need them to realize that now it feel bad when the shoe on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I get it. I get that they're angry, but I want y'all to understand something that y'all probably don't understand. That me and my people have been getting murdered by the highest rates by law enforcement, and we don't got no weapon on us. That man had a weapon on him. Some of us was reaching for our phones. Some of us was reaching for nothing. Or do you remember a video? You probably don't remember a video, but it's a video of a man that's circulating around right now. He stole a beer from a gas station, bro, and the police murdered him. He ain't even had no weapon, no.
And you're
nothing
using the term murdered very loosely. We don't know if it was actual murder.
I call it murder because if I ain't got no weapon on you and you got, it's 2 officers versus 1 black man.
Yep.
And he got a beer.
A beer is dangerous. Is it glass?
No, it was a can, Hake.
Okay, well, a can can be dangerous. A beer can
but he
leave you
didn't
bloody.
have a beer. He didn't have a beer in his hand when he was being killed.
I know, but a barehanded black man is still dangerous, and you know it.
Damn, bro, I can't believe you just said that out loud. A barehanded black man is dangerous than a white man with a CCW. That's
You never know. You never know. But anyway, like, it's not necessarily murder. It can be, and I wouldn't doubt that some cops are unjustified in the shootings. But you know how blacks get all squirrely with police, and they're like all scared and angry.
I know.
And it's not right.
Look, I ain't mad at that, but I want your callers to understand that we die for way less.
Right.
So while they sit here going up in arms and want to GoFundMe and want to cry,
was it a malt liquor?
Jesus Christ, bro.
Okay, no, you're right. We don't have time. This is past 2 minutes. But thank you.
But you know what I'm saying though.
I do know what I do know what you're claiming. Yes.
They mad at this man getting killed with a gun on his waist, and black people get killed at high rates with no weapon on them at all.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that y'all finally understand how we feel. It's sad that it had to happen like this.
Okay.
But come on now, reality is that this is reality. Remember when I told you the other day?
Cute call, sir. I got to run you off for the sake of time. Thank you, sir.
No, you good. Love you, Hake.
Thank you. Love you as well. Bye. Justin in SoCal. Justin, go ahead. Are you there? Justin, come off mute, sir. Hang on, Justin. Let me get to Alan in Michigan, patiently waiting. Alan, go ahead.
Patiently, but appreciating the program.
Nice.
Real quick, I know you're at the end. Like I did yesterday, I was at the end, but I had made an error. The pencil factory that Leo Frank, he did not own it. He was a supervisor. So I just want to be accurate on that. I looked it up. So, however, I did want to finish very quickly on these carpetbaggers.
Yes.
That brought the money in. General Grant made a General Order 11th on December 17th, and he was kicking out these speculator Jews that were buying up all the cotton from all these people. And he said, this is not right. So the rabbi, well, I got his name, I'll go into it. He went to Lincoln and said, oh, you can't do that on the basis of the Constitution, which I'm not a fan of.
Me
The
neither.
government shall make no law respecting the establishment of a religion or the free exercise thereof. That was the wedge that they used. Oh, you can't discriminate against Talmudic Judaism. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. You're at the end of your time, and maybe I'll call in tomorrow or Friday.
Much obliged, sir. Much appreciation. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Some super chats. Walking Roscoe, folks losing their collective minds. Human behavior hasn't changed ever. The only difference is that we're on camera 24/7 when we wear different colored hats, mainly of our favorite sports teams, and fight and sometimes get stabbed over. It's terrible. Everblazer, what's up, man? Law enforcement isn't trained to use tasers when the perp has a gun. It's always the women. Yeah, I know. That was so silly. But shout out, KASEY. Taylor L says all the Minnesota crap. Don't say that, kids. Happened right after Tim Waltz was accused of $1 billion in fraud. They positioned paid protesters in Minneapolis so something would happen. Then they give it major media attention. Indeed. Indeed. Thank you, Taylor. Yeah. Argalunas, no message. Sir, thank you, as always. By the way, Argalunas, I saw you in the chat over on the BitChute stream. Nice to see you yesterday on the BitChute feed. Did you know Hake is on BitChute? Oh, look at here. Looky here. I have a popcorn follow-up, I believe. Yes. Popcorn states, the only problem with your statement about Mark possibly being a good neighbor to a black person is that in Mark's world, black people wouldn't be allowed to live in his neighborhood. But regardless, he's able to accept what is. I mean, he lives in LA. So that can go out the window laughing out loud, but not really, because in practice, he is. Never been about quote-unquote character, claims Popcorn. But I mean, all you care about is his wishes, his internal wishes. If that's all you care about, then that's just being petty. That's like trying to mind read, or, I mean, he already told you his mind. He told you that he'd rather not deal with you. Don't you understand, Popcorn? It's not out the window. I don't get how you're not making logical sense in that he treated a black gal nice just the other day, he told us one time. He helped her out. Whatever. You guys are never happy. We can't win for losing. I got to get ready to get out of here, but I would like to see if I can talk with Rick in Hampton, VA. Unfortunately, Justin in Fullerton was not there. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Man, what's up, Hake? Everybody and their mama will listen to the Hake report today, brother.
Doing fine. Just wrapping up my last minute and a half over here on the Hake
man,
report.
Well, let me go ahead and get it on now, man. You know what, man? I am sick. It's like all these liberals and the guy that was just before you, like saying like blacks get pulled over and get killed without no weapons. Here's
Right.
my point, man. I've been pulled over a lot by the police. I never came not 1 inch close to an incident. I truly believe the Democratic Party teaches these people to be rebellious and act out of control.
Yeah.
I truly believe they're taught that. If you will follow simple instructions, then you'll be fine.
Right.
Like the dude that got shot. Why are he coming over for a gun?
You know, Rick, there is a trauma that happens to women and blacks and others. Remember there was a caller on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, who was like, if you have a woman cop, you're going to die. And she had a woman cop and she got scared. I got to go, Rick. It's good talking with you, sir. Take care.
Man, dang. Oh, okay, bye-bye.
All right. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your beautiful or ugly hearts, right? Replace your heart of stone with a heart of flesh. Adios, America. American Anchor Baby up next. Bye.